5 victims, no suspect caught. The year is 1888. London, a city choked with fog and teeming with life, both grand and squalid. Queen Victoria reigns, but in the shadowed alleys of Whitechapel, a different kind of terror takes hold. Poverty is rife. Gin flows freely, and the district is a haven for the desperate and the depraved. Prostitution is a common means of survival for many women, a grim reality that will soon intersect with unimaginable horror. Our story begins with Mary Ann Nichols, known as Polly. On August 31st, her lifeless body is discovered in Bucks Row, her throat slashed and abdomen brutally mutilated. The police dismiss it as the work of a drunken vagrant, a regrettable but not uncommon incident in the East End. But something about the ferocity of the attack, the almost surgical precision of the cuts, hints at something far more sinister lurking in the darkness that is about to consume Whitechapel. The whispers start almost immediately, spreading like wildfire through the overcrowded tenements and dimly lit streets. Fear grips the women of Whitechapel, a palpable dread that hangs heavy in the air. Just 8 days after Polly Nichols, Annie Chapman is found murdered in Hanbury Street. The similarities to the first killing are chilling. A slashed throat, a mutilated abdomen, and internal organs removed. But this time, the killer has taken a trophy, a piece of Annie's uterus. The police, now facing mounting public pressure, reluctantly acknowledge a connection between the two murders. Detectives from Scotland Yard are dispatched, but the investigation is hampered by the poverty and distrust prevalent in the area. Witnesses are reluctant to come forward, fearing for their own safety. A reward is offered, but the hunt for the killer, dubbed Jack the Ripper by the press, remains shrouded in mystery. The investigation intensifies, fueled by sensational newspaper reports and public hysteria. The police interview hundreds of potential suspects: local butchers, slaughterhouse workers, surgeons, even mentally ill asylum patients. One name surfaces repeatedly: John Pizer, a local bootmaker known as Leather Apron. He is rumored to harass prostitutes and extort money from them. The press seizes on Pizer, branding him as the Ripper, but the evidence is circumstantial at best. Pizer is arrested and questioned extensively, but ultimately released due to a lack of concrete proof. He has an alibi for at least one of the murders. The focus shifts, but the rumors and suspicion linger, poisoning the already strained relationship between the police and the residents of Whitechapel. Every shadow becomes a potential hiding place for the Ripper. The terror escalates with the infamous double event on September 30th. Elizabeth Stride is found murdered in Berner Street, her throat cut, but her body less mutilated than the previous victims. It's speculated that the Ripper was interrupted during the act. Just an hour later, Catherine Eddowes is discovered in Mitre Square, a short distance away. Eddowes' murder is particularly gruesome. Her face horrifically mutilated and her abdomen eviscerated. A piece of her apron is found near a graffito on a nearby doorway, reading, "The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." The police immediately erase the message, fearing it will incite anti-Semitic riots. The double murder sends shockwaves through London. The Ripper is not just a killer, he is a phantom, seemingly capable of appearing and disappearing at will. The From Hell letter arrives at the offices of the Central News Agency. Written in crude, blood-red ink, the letter claims responsibility for the murders and includes what is believed to be a piece of Catherine Eddowes' kidney. The letter's chilling tone and gruesome detail solidify the Ripper's image as a monster in the public imagination. Police attempt to trace the letter's origin, but the trail quickly goes cold. The letter, although widely believed to be authentic, could be a hoax. But its impact is undeniable, stoking the flames of fear and fueling the relentless media frenzy. The investigation becomes increasingly desperate, with police employing increasingly unconventional methods, including consulting psychics and mediums. A major turning point occurs when Dr. Frederick Brown, a respected police surgeon, publicly challenges the prevailing theory that the Ripper possesses advanced anatomical knowledge while acknowledging the killer's skill. Brown suggests that the mutilations could have been performed by someone with basic surgical knowledge, or even a butcher's training. This revelation throws the investigation into disarray, broadening the pool of potential suspects and undermining the initial focus on medical professionals. The police are forced to reassess their strategies, re-interviewing witnesses and exploring new avenues of inquiry. The pressure mounts on Scotland Yard to bring the Ripper to justice, but the closer they look, the more elusive he seems to become. On November 9th, Mary Jane Kelly is found murdered in her room in Miller's Court. Her murder is by far the most brutal and horrific of all. Kelly's body is almost unrecognizable. The scene is described as a bloodbath, with body parts scattered around the room. The sheer savagery of the attack suggests a level of rage and depravity beyond comprehension. The police are overwhelmed by the carnage, and the public is horrified by the details that leak out. It seems the Ripper has escalated his violence to unimaginable levels. After Kelly's murder, the killings abruptly cease. The sudden silence that follows Mary Jane Kelly's murder is almost as unsettling as the killings themselves. The police continue their investigation, but the trail grows colder with each passing day. Suspects are questioned, dismissed, and re-examined. Theories abound, ranging from the plausible to the absurd. Some believe the Ripper was a member of the royal family, covered up by a conspiracy to protect the monarchy. Others suggest he was a deranged artist, driven mad by his own creations. The truth, however, remains elusive, hidden behind a veil of speculation and unanswered questions. The Ripper has vanished into thin air, leaving behind a legacy of terror and a case that will forever haunt the annals of criminal history. In the decades that follow, countless books, articles, and documentaries are dedicated to the Jack the Ripper case. New suspects emerge, old theories are resurrected, and forensic techniques are applied to the surviving evidence. DNA analysis of the From Hell letter and the shawl, believed to have belonged to Catherine Eddowes, yields tantalizing, but ultimately inconclusive results. The identity of Jack the Ripper remains one of the most enduring mysteries in criminal history. The case serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of Victorian society, a society grappling with poverty, inequality, and the rapid changes of the industrial age.